I'm back on GTA 5 online, doing the job. Let's see how this works out. I'm not the driver here.
Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. You make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes.
Private business. Get the fuck out. Get into cover.
I'll expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane. Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. You make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this.
Where you from, huh? Right. That's it. Nowhere to escape now.
Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes. bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise...
Give up!
Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha.
Hell yeah!
Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes.
Reloading! Get out of here, little cobarde! Adios, puto! Dios mío!
Pago's cell phones are going loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane.
I still have the most kills. This is saddening me because I'm the lowest ranked player. I don't even have armor. Let's do this in 2. We can do this. Oh, you wanna race? Okay. It's on. Nah, you want it, you want it.
The integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes.
Fuck!
Once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes.
Private business. LSD, fucking putos!
Pago's cell phones are going loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane.
I need armor.
Once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think of...
How is this even possible? I hope that my armor gets carried on, so I don't have to buy a new one.
Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. Gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes. Cell phones are going loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane.
I'm gonna hide here for a bit until my health comes back. Okay, I'm at half alpha now. Let's sequentially
Gang
move in.
task force better send us a thank you for this. Even more Vagos coming at you.
Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Change the difficulty. We're not gonna make it like this.
Once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute it. No matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes.
No way! You're fucking Maria! For real? Holy shit! Fuck, hey, that's nutty, huh?
Fuck my life.
Go home before you're in a cop. Yeah.
Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going.
Damn.
Make a plan, then execute, and no matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes. Vagos cell phones are gone loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission
Nu cred, mă!
Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute, and no matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes. Vago's cell phones are going loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane.
Nu! Și n-au apărut, mă, până când nu m-au mișcat, mă. A, dracu să fie.
Okay, I'm reading you close to the airfield. Remember, once you engage these bastards, there's only one way this is going. Make a plan, then execute, and no matter how good the plan is, expect sustained resistance. Maintaining the integrity of the plane is the priority here. Don't rush this. Looks like a shit show down there. Clear the airstrip before you think about taking that bird into the sky. If the plane gets shot up, we're back to Alpha. Keep it up down there. The more noise you make at the airstrip, the more plausible the cover story becomes.
Back up! Fuckhead. Hey, asshole! It's time to get shot! Back over! Ayúdame, cabrón! Vago!
Pago's cell phones are going loco, people. Expect more of them any second now. But remember, the mission is the plane.
What the fuck? There was no one around me. I was literally watching the map to make sure no one's around me. mai există plânzi. Du-te în morții, mătii. Și l-are 19, nu? Du-te în morții, mătii. Du-te în morții, mătii. Eram sigur. Vreau să dau încă o carte, nu alta. Futu-i mama ei de treabă. Ce te pe față te fură, bă! Du-te în morții, mătii! Suci pula, fraiere. Eram sigur. sau sună. Eram sigur. Ce?
Ok. Best of luck to everybody in the next round. Mult noroc. Hai să vedem. Pariurile sunt închise. No more bets. Îmi cer scuze dacă n-am zis de data aia culoarea. Cine știe ce s-a întâmplat. Nu am obiceiul de a arata vreo caracteristică, dar îți promit că nu o să se mai întâmple. Hai să vedem următorul număr câștigător, să-l și nimerim bine. Este 0, aici nu mai trebuie să zic culoarea. E un număr din 0 Spil și Voazan de 0. Vecinii are pe 3, 26, 32 și 15. Iar avem o dată în Voazan de 0 o plată de 11/1 pentru fiecare din chipurile de pe strada 03. Și în 0 Spil avem splitul 03 plătit cu 17/1. Mult noroc și în runda următoare. Nu vine să cred. M-am emoționat, dar am uitat eu să zic culoarea. Pariurile sunt închise, no more bets, guys. Best of luck. Am o colegă aici foarte frumoasă care mă distrage din când în când. Cine știe ce se întâmplă în capul meu.
Hai făcut-ți gura, mă, te piși pe roșu.
Dar nu voi mai rata. Hai să vedem un număr frumos pentru toată lumea. De data asta este 13, negru, mic și impar, pe care îl putem găsi în a doua duzină, prima coloană, secțiunea tier.
Du-te în morți, mătii. Nu?
Hey, 42 here. Throughout history, we humans have been drawn to the biggest of questions. Where do we come from? Is there a God? Do we as a species have the capacity to overcome our differences and work together to build a better future for us all? And, of course, perhaps the most profound of these big questions. Do eels have testicles? Okay, so maybe I'm slightly overstating the importance of that last one. The hunt for eel gonads might not have quite the same scientific glamour as the search for dark matter or a theory of everything. But, oddly enough, it's a question that's had a hell of a lot of attention over the years in the scientific community because, as weird as it sounds, eels lack balls. And I don't mean that in some vague, idiomatic way. They don't get all weak at the fins at the thought of extreme sports, or routinely back down from fights. No, they literally don't have testicles. But if that's the case, how on God's green earth do they reproduce? Well, before we get on to that, what exactly are eels? Whilst they kind of resemble snakes that have gone into hiding underwater on account of being so monumentally ugly, they're actually a kind of fish. But for multitudinous reasons, they're remarkably different to pretty much any other fish species you care to mention. Take European freshwater eels, for example. They lack scales for a start, and can breathe air through their skin. That ability allows them to survive out of water for up to 48 hours, and they're surprisingly nifty movers on land. They can even climb. They hibernate in the winter if it gets too cold by burying themselves in mud. A trick they also employ if the ponds they're living in happens to dry out in the summer. They can live to almost 100 years of age. Their blood is poisonous, and they're also remarkably difficult to kill, and will keep on swimming for hours, even after you've cut off their heads, thanks to a decidedly stubborn nervous system. All in all, eels are pretty bloody odd. And that's before we even get into their troubling lack of testes. So, how does an animal without reproductive organs create offspring? Believe it or not, this conundrum has occupied some of humankind's most brilliant thinkers for at least a couple of millennia. Aristotle was probably the first to grapple with it, but the great Greek philosopher and thinker was as perplexed as anyone else by the eel's lack of crown jewels. Still, as the father of Western logic, he did manage to come up with a fittingly logical explanation. Eels don't have reproductive organs, according to Aristotle, because they don't reproduce. And if they don't reproduce, he reasoned, they must come to life through some other mechanism. Ultimately, he concluded, eels spontaneously come into being when rainwater mixes with mud. Not one of his finest moments, that, but considering he basically invented science, I think we can give him a pass on this one. As you're no doubt aware, Aristotle's influence on science loomed large long after his death. And for that reason, the belief eels came to life out of nothing was widely accepted as scientific fact for some 2,000 years. though others did come along to put their own hypotheses forward as to exactly how the process worked. Roman author Pliny the Elder, who died in the aftermath of the famous eruption at Mount Vesuvius that buried Pompeii in 79 AD, believed eels came into being from the partially shed skins of other eels. Others felt certain eels sprouted from sea foam or burst into life when sunlight hit open stretches of water in a certain way. The Scots thought eels started out life as beetles, and the English were convinced they were born when hairs from horsetails fell into river water. I know, nobody comes out of this with much credit, but hey, those were simpler times. It took a while, but eventually, people began to question whether it was really possible for an animal to just come to life from nothing. After all, the very idea seemed to violate the laws of nature mankind had slowly been uncovering in the millennia since Aristotle met his maker. One man who could firmly be considered a skeptic was Sigmund Freud. And yes, I do mean that Sigmund Freud. You might be wondering what the most famous psychoanalyst in history has to do with mankind's hunt for eel ghoulies. And I'll admit, it is a little weird to see him crop up in this story, but then again, if you know anything about Freud, you'll know the guy was absolutely obsessed with genitals. So the fact he was once interested in eel nuts perhaps shouldn't come as much of a surprise. In 1876, when Freud was still an enthusiastic medical student at the University of Vienna, he travelled to the city of Trieste in northeast Italy, a stone's throw away from the Slovenian border. The purpose of the trip was simple. Freud wanted to get something nobody else had ever had: a nice set of eel balls. To that end, he took himself down to the city's port each morning to meet the fishermen coming home with their catch, from whom he'd buy as many eels as he could afford. Then he went back home to begin the dissections. Freud spent several months in Trieste, and it's thought he worked his way through as many as 400 eels during that time. The gory task seems to have gotten to him too, because he sounded on the verge of losing his marbles in one letter to a friend, where he confessed, "All I see when I close my eyes is the shimmering dead tissue which haunts my dreams." It's no wonder he decided to take his career in another direction not long afterwards, especially when you consider all that hard work eviscerating eels hadn't brought about the discovery Freud was hoping for. He'd found some interesting looking bits and pieces inside the abdominal cavities of several large specimens, but there was nothing he could definitively, conclusively claim to be an eel testicle. Freud had failed. Still, he wasn't the only one skeptical of the stories of miraculous eel origins, and 10 years later, in 1886, a breakthrough came. French zoologist Yves Delage had been keeping an odd leaf-shaped marine creature known as a leptocephalus in a tank in his lab for several months, when, quite unexpectedly, the strange little beast turned into something else entirely. Yves had observed something that would change our understanding of eels forever. You see, eels are metamorphic creatures, and they go through 6 distinct stages in what can only be described as one hell of an odd life cycle. They start out as leptocephali, much like the one Yves kept in his fish tank, before turning into transparent glass eels. Glass eels become elvers, elvers become yellow eels, and yellow eels become silver eels, which are basically the eel's endgame form. The funny thing is, science had known about all of these individual animals for a long time. Fishermen had been catching them, and people had been eating them since time immemorial. Jellied eel, anyone? But it had always been assumed they were different species entirely. Nobody had ever realized they were all the same animal at different stages of its life cycle. Although Yves witnessed the metamorphosis firsthand, it took a decade or so for his discovery to be widely accepted. That might be because it went against conventional wisdom, or maybe just that people didn't take poor old Yves too seriously. You see, he had a habit of making outlandish statements, and in later life would famously claim to have calculated that the Turin Shroud, which some people believe is the fabric Christ was buried in after his crucifixion, had a 1 in 10 billion chance of being a fake. I'd really love to see your working there, Eve. Anyway, it was with the discovery of this highly unusual life cycle that the missing piece fell into place to help science finally understand why eels lack testicles. Not because they spontaneously come to life from mud, not because they happen to be remarkably energetic horsetail hairs, but because they grow reproductive organs only when they need them in their final, mature form. And you have to hand it to them. It does sound like a fairly sensible system, because, as any guy will tell you, when you aren't using them, genitals don't half get in the way. So, one of the oldest questions in the animal kingdom had finally been put to bed. But, rather annoyingly, the answer brought with it a question of its own. Because the first stage of the eel's life cycle, the leptoencephalus, was a marine creature. It was found only in the ocean, which neatly explained why poor old Sigmund had never stumbled across so much of a sniff of a testicle during his 400 dissections. By the time eels reach their mature stage, which can take anything from 7 to 70 years, they've left our shores far behind. So, that being the case, where exactly do all these millions of eels bugger off to each year? In 1904, Danish scientist Johannes Schmidt was asking himself that very same question. Luckily, Schmidt was a doer. When he came across a question that left him scratching his head, he didn't just shrug his shoulders and go make a sandwich. He went out and found the answer, even if it meant dedicating his life to the task. Which is why, over a period of some 19 years, Schmidt carried out the biggest survey of leptoencephali ever completed before or since. He was particularly interested in their size, and for good reason, because as he slowly built up more and more data, he began to realize something. The closer he got to a certain point in the Atlantic Ocean, the smaller the leptoencephali he netted were, until, eventually, they couldn't get any smaller. He'd found the eel's spawning grounds, smack in the middle of the Sargasso Sea. Not only was that rather fitting, because, much like the creatures who go there for a bit of sexual eeling, the Sargasso itself is a bit of an enigma. It was also a pretty staggering discovery, because it meant European freshwater eels were undertaking a previously unknown migration of some 6,000 kilometers to have their young. The Sargasso is the only sea in the world that doesn't have a single land border. Instead, it's surrounded by a vortex of ocean currents that completely encircle it on all sides. It's a sea within a sea, if you like, and its border currents act a bit like a plug hole for the Atlantic. That's why, as well as millions of randy eels, it's also home to the North Atlantic garbage patch, hundreds of square kilometers of ocean filled with rubbish. Nice one, humans. Despite Schmidt's conclusions, which are still accepted today, nobody has ever actually seen eels mating in the Sargasso Sea. In fact, even with all our fancy technology, nobody has ever seen eels in the Sargasso at all. Despite the fact we're pretty confident millions of them make the journey there every year. And in keeping with that somewhat patchy understanding of the behaviour of our slippery friends, we don't really know how the tiny eel larvae born there make it the 6,000 kilometers back to Europe either. Their strange leaf-like shape is thought to help with drifting, but some researchers believe active swimming plays at least some part in the trip. We also don't know how long the journey takes, or even how long eels stay in their larval state. Estimates range from as little as 6 months to as many as 3 years. So yeah, we may have found their balls, but eels still seem to have plenty of other secrets hidden up their sleeves. Well, sleeve, I guess. We've mostly been covering freshwater eels in this video, but eels don't get any less weird no matter which bit of the family tree you're looking at. There are snipe eels that look a bit like nightmarish lassos, slender moray eels that can grow up to 4 meters long, and European congers that can weigh as much as 110 kilos. Rarely seen gulper eels live at depths of up to 3,000 meters and are a confusing mix of disturbing and cute. Kind of like what might have happened if Nintendo had decided to turn Kirby into a horror franchise. And then there are parasitic snub-nosed eels. These disturbing little living horrors use their powerful jaws to burrow into the bodies of larger fish, where they just make themselves at home. Typically they can be found snuggled up alongside the spines of species like cod and halibut, but they've also been known to burrow directly into the abdomen of gravid fish, where they promptly devour thousands of unhatched eggs within the space of just a few minutes. In 1992, 2 parasitic eels were even found to have made a cozy residence in the still beating heart of a 400-kilogram mako shark, caught near Montauk in New York State. I should probably mention electric eels too. Not because they can deliver an electric shock of close to 1,000 volts, although they can, but because they aren't actually eels at all. They're a kind of knife fish. Bit of an embarrassing slip there, hey science? Although not an especially uncommon one. Killer whales aren't whales, they're members of the dolphin family. American buffalo are actually bison. Honey badgers are most closely related to martens. And horny toads are in fact lizards. And, I might add, no more desperate for sex than any other animal out there. Knife fish imposters aside, eels are some of the weirdest animals to ever have existed on planet Earth. But whilst
our planet is facing the greatest extinction of animals since the time of the dinosaurs. But this time, it's not the meteorite that threatens their lives. It's a human being. Over the last 50 years, humans have destroyed almost 2/3 of species. You'll never hear the sweet Sardinian pika again. The orange frog will no longer warn you of the rain with its croaking. And teen melodrama fans will not be able to tease the Tasmanian wolf at the zoo, calling him a striped Jacob. But unlike some animals, we've lived to see that we can work miracles with the help of genetic engineering. On the 23rd of February this year, a sensational event took place. Australian photographer Neil Waters posted stunning content on the internet, a picture of the very Tasmanian wolf that was considered to be extinct 85 years ago. It could mean that scientists have already secretly made progress in cloning, and we can fix it all. But there is another question. Is it worth doing it? Before you answer, there's someone I'd like you to meet. In order to do this, you need to raise your head up. This is Haast's eagle, the largest bird of prey of historical era. Haast's eagle is very similar to the world's largest eagle, the harpy eagle, only it was twice as heavy, and its wingspan was 40% larger. It lived on New Zealand's South Island until people ruthlessly exterminated the majestic bird. Legends say after the Maori people exterminated the moa, the main source of food for Haast's eagle, the mega bird began to take revenge on people, hunting their young children. Therefore, the Maori people had to kill a terrifying bird. On the basis of an excuse of self-defense, the human being has become the most dangerous predator and killer of all time. But New Zealand kids play in the yard without fear of being dragged away by a giant bird. Perhaps you'd like to clone some other animal from the recently extinct ones. How do you like this guy? Giant short-faced bear. It's heavier than the modern rhinoceros, 50% bigger than the biggest polar bears, and as you can see, twice your height. To survive, it must eat at least 35 pounds of meat per day. That means at least one corgi. Now look who's standing on your right. Megalania is the largest land lizard known to science. It was as long as a 2-story building and weighed as much as the heart of a blue whale. But neither it nor the ancient grizzly were able to escape from a human being. In the food chain, humans became their rivals, having destroyed everything that the bear and megalania ate. It's quite possible that people just killed these predators when they met them. Do you think you wouldn't have done it? First, get to know them. But where are they? You won't see megalania right away. No, it's not shy. It's just that lizard hunts in an ambush. It will instantly immobilize you by cutting the tendons with its razor-sharp teeth. Have you seen these videos of how to open
I channeled my ancestors on that old ass TV. You understand? I channeled them. They doing stuff in the cave paintings because the person who was painting the cave painting was high. You understand? Yeah. He's high as a kite. And then he's high and he's painting in that damn cave. Who the hell sits in the damn cave and paint? That's the art right there. I talk about that in my book. About turning your man cave into a BC place. The whole paleo movement. Holistic paleo. Body and dwelling. Take a hint from nature, man. You can eat raw grass or hay like a farm animal, or you can be at the top of the food chain and chase down foods yourself as I do. You damn right I do. Right? I chase the food down, I catch the damn food. Right? I gut the damn food and I eat the damn food. I'm a human cheetah. I'll chase you down. You ain't gonna get away from me. You understand, Cheryl? You understand? Right? Right? So eating raw not only means chewing on a head of cabbage, but also chasing a gazelle like a lion and eating.
You gotta survive for 3 minutes and get him killed. It's gonna be fun. You saw me. I didn't like this. Quit. Yes. I want to rob a bank or something. Do a heist.
Jesus, shit! What? Jesus!
Welcome to the Diamond. Feel free to come in and have a good time. And of course, members get access to all the facilities at the
Very
resort
good,
and...
Vincent. Very good. You managed not to frighten them away this time. Wonderful. We are making progress. Right this way, sir. Welcome. Welcome to the Diamond Casino, Spa, and Resort. We are finally open for business. I'm Tom Connors, Executive Director of Guest Services. Unfortunately, as Vincent mentioned, we are a membership-only establishment as far as our facilities are concerned. Regulation. For now, membership dues are very reasonable and purchasable at reception or on our website, if that's more your thing. Ah, champagne. I'll take those. Let me show you around. Oh, the boss. Miss Baker, I'd like you to meet a prospective member. And this is Miss Agatha Baker, our general manager.
Thank you, Tom. Good to meet you. Enjoy your time with us. Tom, are you going to give them a little tour of the resort?
Of course, madam. Oh, and, so far, no sign of the Texans.
I should hope not. But let's talk another time.
Okay. So, come with me, please. That is where I normally work. If you come see me, I will help you get the most out of our facilities, especially for all our VIP members. Over here is our bar area, the Solitaire. That's our head barwoman, Josephine. Hey, Josephine!
Tom, hi there.
And this is our casino floor. We have all the usual games, blackjack, roulette, three-card poker, slot machines, and inside track horse racing. Now, if you're interested in the real VIP experience, you can purchase one of our exclusive penthouse condominiums. We're talking black card, premium grade, utterly unique luxury, and a remarkable home for you and your loved ones. And of course, on-the-floor bonuses and opportunities like free champagne. And that concludes our tour. If you're interested, all the details are up on the website. It really is a wonderful place to relax and entertain. I hope to see you again soon. You know where to find me.
The Diamond Casino and Resort presents a brand new car available to win today, simply with the spin of a wheel. What's the point of winning if you don't spend it? The hottest fashions are available now at the casino store.
Darkness falls. Look out in the graveyard. Unknown dimensional terror. What? Unknown dimensional terror. Look out in the graveyard. Falls. Look out in the graveyard. Falls. Unknown dimensional terror. Darkness falls.
You're having a good evening out there, Los Santos.
Abolish government. There's nothing to forget about God.
Host.
The assistant to the host.
Shut up, okay? You won. You're perky. You're young. You look great. And I'm the assistant to the host of a woman with literally nothing to say.
I get it. You did a mountain of blow in the 90s. No one cares.
It was fantastic, okay?
I'm glad you had blow all over your nose for many years.
You don't have a catchphrase.
I don't need one. And nobody gives a shit.
I was big in the 90s. I remember .com, and we used to program computers like C:// and HTTP:10 print hello 20 go to 10.
The Great Terror of Time is something we cover in our study program, my child.
Just leave me alone, all of you.
There. Sometimes from the valley, We can see the mountain through the clouds. That's what makes us its children.
I don't understand valleys or clouds. It sounds like a nursery rhyme.
Oh, you take a minute, Laszlo. Man. Listen, anyone saying the male menopause is a myth, just remember this moment, please.
It's very simple. You just work through a very cost-effective program and achieve limitless joy.
That sounds wonderful. Laszlo, stop crying.
I'm not crying.
Well, thank you, Brother Adrian. Your seminars seem very interesting.
Yes, very.
But I think we've run out of time on Chattersphere.
I love you, Michelle.
Oh.
This has been the Chattersphere with Michelle and Laszlo.
The kind of water you drink says a lot about the type of person you are. It's time to take hydration seriously. Flow. Your local water is terrible. It's time to make hydration real. That's why we filtered it, put it in a fancy bottle, and are marketing it using famous actors. It's time to make hydration creative. Are you still drinking tap water? What's wrong with you? It's time to make hydration flow. Drink Flow, infused with oxygen and hydrogen. If you're active or at least want to appear to be, there's only one hydration solution. Flow.
Politics, news, entertainment, talk.
I just like all the information that you guys provide.
This is WCTR, radio that keeps Los Santos stewing.
It's the Chattersphere with Michelle and Laszlo.
Hi, I'm Michelle Makes.
And I'm Laszlo.
And this is
Chattersphere with Michelle and Laszlo. God, I just love doing that.
Me too.
So, anyway, on today's show, we've got some amazing stuff.
We have a co-host who is not accepting the reality of their contract.
Come on, Michelle, let me do the intro, okay? I'm really good at it. I know how to monologue. Seriously, I talk to myself a lot. You know, sometimes I just stand in front of the mirror with no clothes on and say, you like this? You want some of this? And
I know. I get it. You're an adult loser. You're pathetic. Every show you do this. No, I'm sorry. You know the rules. Sorry, everybody. See, we're Vinewood liberals. We love each other, but we've got massive egos, so we can't quite get along.
My ego was shattered long ago. You know, it was called the 80s, but I picked up the pieces and glued it together with bourbon and acting out sexually with not that very attractive of a woman, okay? So speak for yourself.
I'm speaking for the show, dictard. Chattersphere, hosted by me, Michelle Makes, with sidekick support work from you until your contract runs out and you can be let go, Mr. Laszlo. I don't have a surname.
Every week. You rub my face in it every goddamn week.
Because every week you act like I'm not here and it's still one of your countless previous shows that didn't work out and yet somehow allow you to fail upwards. Man, you must have some amazing pictures of whichever executives you're blackmailing.
Listen, if you're gonna fail up, I always say. And you're not even being fair.
Fair is you calling me a bitch?
That was once.
Or stealing my jokes?
That was twice.
Or interrupting me?
I don't interrupt you.
Or you just did it again.
I know, it's a joke. The reason men interrupt women all the time is because you yammer on and on.
Oh yeah, women. They talk, and you do the math. Really funny, misogynist. Make me out to be a shrew so you can attack me. That's the easiest trick in the book. This is the 21st century, Laszlo. We're all equal now. Every right-minded person in this city knows that, and still you've got gender issues. The fact is, you hate women.
I love women. Michelle, come here. Listen, we're off on the wrong foot. Let me rub your back. Oh my God, is that a
Ew, get off! Don't rub my back. Besides, you're only a liberal because your job depends on it.
Don't be mad at me because you've got moles. You should get that checked. And I'm a liberal because you have to be in the entertainment industry. I'd much rather be chewing tobacco, grabbing my nuts, mistreating women, wearing a wife-beater shirt, drinking gin, huffing Freon. I'm the real deal, Michelle. The real deal. My fans know it. When I work out, I do it for the fans. When I'm pumping iron, looking at my pecs, I go, the fans want these pecs. I got a TV show, a radio show. I'm everywhere. I'm on a billboard. I'm in bathrooms. Then one idiotic program director on a rinky-dink talk network. Hey!
Thanks for the follow. I only got one kill.
Who were also threatened by rising sea levels and plagues, but didn't have the worry and stress of gluten and the internet. Extreme Paleo TM is a trademark back-to-nature diet system that's worth paying a fortune for. Your starter pack includes a free t-shirt and an authentic Extreme Paleo TM hunting spear.
right. Yes, call me a whack job.
You're a whack job.
Call me a cultist.
You're a cultist.
Call me a pervert.
You're a pervert.
All right, I'm happy. You're miserable.
I'm not miserable. Okay, I'm in a career slump. There is a difference. Every time I really start to do well in a market, someone at the station goes whining to HR, and then I get moved to a new place, like a man of the cloth. Speaking of cloth, you're a cult leader, so of course you pretend. Because you say you have all the answers. You're selling people...
Thank you, my boy, thank you. I am honored to call you my son, by another mother, if you know what I mean. Peace and love. You have done me proud.
For worse and worse cars, and suddenly you're not the spokesperson for an expensive Swiss watch, but for some swingers resort in Guatemala or a war zone. You're on the way down, so you get desperate. You do more and more insane things for ratings. You don't care, but it's no good. The public doesn't love you anymore. Nobody loves you. There's a great hole of lovelessness inside you. You're just a shell.
got eyes!
Someone still loves you.
Da. Nu! Mă auzi pe mine? Bine.
got my goddamn steaks. He looks back at me and about shits himself. You look like you really want to stick me. Oh, I did. Cause I can't eat you unless I get you on the fire and cook you. Like that, and he jumps over in the weeds. Stay out of be carried out. Ain't nothing this holler worth dying for. Stay out of be carried out. No trespassing.
For a backwoods gal was she, and for chopping down a tree, she was handy with an axe. Good, but I should have passed her by.
Rank 10. I don't want repo jobs. I want a heist. That's about it for now. I don't have cars, man. I just started playing. It was a mission, Justin. Sorry for the late answer. Well guys, that's about it for now. I'll see you again in about a couple of hours. So have a nice afternoon.